Hi, hello, how's everyone doing today? So, this talk is actually pre recorded. I would have loved to join all of you live today, but I'm traveling as we speak. But at the end of the talk, I'll leave my contact details. So, if any of you want to reach out to talk about the presentation or if you have any questions on the topic, please do so. So, what we'll cover today, I will dive into one of the most effective ways to grow your design business by tapping into micro communities. I'll show you how you can build a portfolio of clients in the industry or niche you want and attract the clients you truly want to work with, those who share your values. By immersing yourself in these micro communities and actively seeking out events and partnerships in these communities. Now, what I love about this approach is that it's not just about networking, it's about forming genuine connections. Building a successful design business isn't just about what you know or what you're selling, it's about who you know and how you connect with them. When you immerse yourself in a community of like minded individuals who share your goals and values, your contributions become more meaningful and the relationships you build are deeper and more long lasting. There's so much I want to share with you, but since we only have about a maximum of 20 minutes, I'll focus on the essentials. Before we get into everything, let me properly introduce myself. I'm Liesl Every, the founder of Curated by, a boutique creative studio based in Amsterdam. For over 10 years, I've successfully helped businesses and entrepreneurs launch their brands into the world, both online and offline, across various industries, including creative arts, fashion, fintech, real estate, and hospitality. But it hasn't always been this glamorous. Before launching Curated By, I worked in corporate M&A at a large consultancy firm in Amsterdam. The job was good. It more than paid the bills, and whenever I told people at a party what I did for a living, I could tell it impressed them. I was working 80 hours a week, getting promoted, working on high-profile cases, and despite actually excelling at the job, I found myself missing a creative outlet. I was miserable. And then I made a very rash decision. I was going to quit my job and start my own company. And of course, I was also pregnant at the time, and I had an extremely high dose of I can take on the world hormones. So I decided to leave the job behind and invest a significant portion of my savings to start my first online business, a gift registry platform for pregnant women. And I mean, as a financial consultant, I had a bit of business knowledge, but the world of design, digital strategy, online marketing, and SEO was completely new to me. And I experienced firsthand the very steep costs associated with relying fully on external designers, developers, and marketeers. But this challenging start actually pushed me to educate myself on all aspects of the digital world and to figure out a way on how to help other people get started in this space. One of the first steps was to learn how to master the art of launching beautiful, lean, yet profitable websites with a well thought out digital strategy. I've always had an eye for aesthetics and a passion for design, but how does someone with no actual design skills enter this world? And that's how I came across Squarespace. I was immediately drawn to their design and aesthetic. And this was 10 years ago. Back then, Squarespace was already impressive, but not nearly the powerful all in one platform it is today. I knew that if I wanted to master this, I had to dive deep into what it meant to use Squarespace not only as a tool just to make nice looking websites, but truly use it as a business tool. I found a Squarespace for Business design course online, also from a fellow Circle Day speaker. And the funny thing is that by chapter two, I was already thinking, okay, I can totally do this. After that point, I had some knowledge on how to set up websites for clients. The next logical step was figuring out who my clients were going to be. That's when a bit of self doubt crept in. I mean, how was I going to stand out in a world full of talented designers and developers? I quickly took a step back and I looked at my own background and experience. I realized that there was a large group of women similar to me looking to escape the corporate world and start something on their own. These women needed someone who shared their vision. Since they were just starting out, they needed help with branding, design, online visibility, and marketing. And I knew that because of my own experience, this was where I could add the most value. So my second step was to actually find these clients. Now, I'm not a salesperson at all. So the idea of putting myself out there and trying to sell my services was very daunting to me. But I started small. What I did was I first looked to my local community, and a group of women I knew had just started a platform for female entrepreneurs to help bridge gaps and connect like minded women. They had just started, no funds, so I offered to help them with their branding and design their website for free. I went up to them and said, listen, I can help you with branding. I can create a website for you for free. And I think that if you really want to make an impact in this space, I would love to help you organize a website launch event and we'll invite a bunch of cool women and I'll help you host it. Aside from launching their website that day, at the event, I shared my story, the struggles I had faced when entering this world, and how I overcame them. It wasn't a sales pitch. I was simply stating how I might be able to add value because of my background and personal experience. I got vulnerable and people responded to it. And with this approach, I didn't just find clients. I became a part of the conversation. I supported other women in their journeys and in return they supported me. And the opportunities that arose were not just transactional, they were transformational. And since then, I've helped many female entrepreneurs across various industries: creative arts, fashion, fintech, real estate, hospitality, all different industries, but still very niche because there's one thing they all have in common. These are all female professionals with the idea of starting something for themselves. And they were all looking for someone who understood them and who was willing to think along with them. And it didn't end at that event. In fact, that was just the beginning. I continued to put myself forward, attending and speaking at numerous events. And each of these opportunities allowed me to share my personal story, which resonated deeply with potential clients. And this genuine connection led to building lasting relationships that went beyond just business transactions. As I established myself within these communities, I knew that I needed to leverage my successes to continue growing. So after each project, I made it a point to ask clients for feedback. If they were happy with the results and the collaboration we had, I would ask them to leave a review or a testimonial for me. And these testimonials became one of my most powerful tools as I include them in every new client proposal, because this not only demonstrates my credibility and track record, it also reinforces the trust I built within the community. But remember, these are just examples of how this approach worked for me, tailored to my niche and my ideal clients. Now, let's talk about how this approach can work for you. So, increased visibility. Imagine you are at a large conference where everyone's competing for attention: business cards flying, pitches being made left and right. Now, contrast that with a smaller, more intimate gathering of a community where everyone shares a common interest or goal. In that smaller setting, your voice isn't just heard, it actually resonates. When you put yourself forward in these micro communities, you're positioning your business in front of people who are already inclined to be interested in what you offer. Think of a Squarespace designer who specializes in creating websites for circular brands. By attending and speaking at a circular business meetup, they're not just another web designer. They are the web designer who understands the values and the needs of that specific group. The visibility they gain in this niche community is far more valuable than at any generic industry event. Stronger connections. In large networks, connections can often feel transactional, but in micro communities, there's an opportunity to build deeper, more personal connections. When you're consistently present in these groups, sharing your expertise and supporting others, you are seen as the trusted resource. And this trust is invaluable. It's what turns prospects into clients. And don't be afraid to get vulnerable. When people see that you share their fears, their struggles, and values, they view you as a trusted partner, not just a service provider. And that really turns prospects into loyal, long term clients. Tailored opportunities. When you're part of a niche community, you gain access to opportunities that are perfectly aligned with your goals. Because these aren't just opportunities, they are the right opportunities. Whether it's a speaking engagement, a collaboration, a referral, the chances you find in these communities are often more relevant and of higher quality than what you might find in broader settings. Now, imagine a web designer who's known in a small network of wellness coaches. They are considered an expert because they're not just a designer, they are someone who truly understands the wellness industry. And last but not least, authentic brand building. Engaging with these micro communities helps you build your brand in a way that feels authentic. When you contribute to discussions, share your story, you're not just selling your services, you're building a brand that people trust and want to engage with. Imagine a designer who offers a webinar tailored specifically to wedding planners and wedding photographers, and sharing tips on creating portfolio websites that showcase your work, tells a story. And over time, this designer becomes the go-to designer for wedding professionals, not just because of the technical skills, but also because this designer understands how to help wedding planners and wedding professionals attract clients and stand out in a very competitive market. Now, if someone were to put this presentation into practice, here's what that plan of action would look like. Start by identifying groups that align with your business goals and values. And this could be female entrepreneur groups, local business networks, or industry-specific associations. And don't just join these groups. Engage, attend events, participate in discussions, offer help, and be a valuable member of this community. Put yourself forward. Volunteer to speak at events, host workshops, or partner with other members on projects. Don't wait for opportunities to come to you. Create them by being proactive. Build relationships, not just connections, and focus on building genuine relationships. Follow up with the people you meet, offer support where you can, and stay engaged over time. And once you've established your success within a community, leverage your successes. Share case studies, testimonials, and your experiences to further solidify your position as a leader in this group. Now, the key takeaway here is that success in business isn't just about what you know or what you sell, it's about who you know and how you connect with them. By leaning into micro communities like female entrepreneur groups, you're not just expanding your network, you're building meaningful relationships that can lead to long-term success. And the action steps are clear. Identify your community, determine how you can add specific value to them, engage actively, and put yourself forward for opportunities. Because the results are amazing. Increased visibility, stronger, more meaningful connections, and authentic brand growth. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope you leave here inspired to tap into these micro communities and take your business to new heights. Remember, it's not just about joining a group, it's about becoming an active, valuable part of that community. I'm Liesl Every, and if any of you want to reach out to talk about the presentation, or if you have any questions on the topic, I'll leave my contact details on the slide. Thank you, and bye.